money, motherfucker? Money be green. Money feel like money. That shit look green to you?
All right, let's get right into it, hoping we all make some money for this big, massive fight. But Gervonta Tank Davis is a minus 290 straight up on the money line. Ryan Garcia, a plus 215 straight up on the money line. So listen, Tank isn't a massive favorite on this one. Vegas kind of has it where, of course, Ryan is the dog, but Gervonta Tank Davis isn't a huge favorite for this fight. Bryan, tell me how you're going to bet for this one, and are there any special prop bets that you're going to roll with?
And if you were paying attention on the video, I just edited the lines live because they moved from when I set that up an hour ago because the lines are constantly changing because so much action is coming in on this fight. Gervonta Davis, a little bit more of a favorite than he was just an hour from when we were recording this. There is a lot here, and we're not going to spend all day with it. And this is also the fourth of our 4-part series in previewing this fight. So if you're watching this, please do watch the super preview, the what happens next if Tank wins and what happens next if Ryan Garcia wins installments, because we worked very hard on all of these. Now, in terms of the betting on this, Shantelle, the books are expecting Gervonta Davis to win by knockout. And you know that because a lot of them, he's in that minus 140, minus 150 range just to win by knockout straight up. And that's been sort of the prevailing thought and favorite throughout this entire time that the fight's been in orbit, right? The books are also expecting, if nothing else, Ryan Garcia to be knocked down, because I've seen that at minus 160, minus 164, minus 180 in one book. Not a lot of value there, by the way. And
unless
the books,
you make up,
Yeah, and the books are also expecting this to be sort of in the middle, like Gervonta Tank Davis sort of knocks out Ryan Garcia in like that 5 to 7, 8 maybe, but usually 6-round range, and the over/under is 7.5. It's even both ways. Last I checked, minus 110 or minus 115 both ways. So we know what the books are expecting. If you learned anything from last week, people, the books aren't always right, because everyone had Joe Joyce winning this fight, except on this show, we were like, Joe Joyce should probably win, but you should sprinkle on Zhilei Zhang for the knockout. The same thing that we said about Brian Mendoza when going up against Sebastian Fundora prior to that. Yeah. Anything can happen in this sport still, even though sometimes it feels like it's not the case. But Shantelle, where I landed, if you want my pick right away, straight off
I want it right away, and why?
Where I landed is I just went to my instincts, back to my instincts when this fight got announced, and I couldn't shake this bet from my head, and it was screaming at me the entire time, and I'm just going to do it. I was leaning Gervonta Tank Davis by knockout between rounds 7 and 12, where he catches him sort of late. I think because Gervonta Davis is a slow starter, and he'll give his opponent some rounds. He did it with Isaac Cruz. He did it with Hector Garcia. And Ryan Garcia is somebody who has the height, the reach, the speed to sort of keep Tank Davis at bay for a little bit, for a few rounds, for maybe the first half of the fight. But I think the walls close in on Ryan Garcia. He makes a couple of defensive mistakes. I think Gervonta Davis finds him late. And I would also favor the over 7.5 rounds. Because I don't think Ryan Garcia is going to go out early. I think he's going to show some things and surprise maybe even Tank's most ardent supporters, of which there are many. But ultimately, I think that Tank finds him, closes the gap, and puts him down and puts him away later on in this fight.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this fight for a little while now because...
By the way, that bet, I forgot to mention, plus 200 on DraftKings last I checked, plus 220 on FanDuel.
For round 7 through 12?
Round 7 through 12, Gervonta Davis knockout. Plus 220 on DraftKings, plus 200 on FanDuel. That may flip, but it's great value on that. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, you know what? I've been going back and forth on this fight for weeks now, ever since it got announced, because I actually do think that there is a slight chance that Ryan Garcia could get the victory in this one.
Hmm.
But I am actually leaning towards, of course, Gervonta Tank Davis, because we've talked about this before. We know that Tank has devastating power, and sometimes guys can get sloppy defensively, as Ryan can get sloppy defensively sometimes, especially when he drops his hands. And Tank is a really good counterpuncher. Now, Ryan Garcia was starting to use his right hand a little bit more against Javier Fortuna, but it'll be interesting to see if he is a little bit more active with the right hand in this fight. We know that he has the left hook, and Gervonta Tank Davis expects that. Gervonta Tank Davis also takes a lot of hits, though. And so what I think is going to happen, because Tank doesn't start off really fast, and I know you hate the term downloading information, but
I don't.
that's exactly what he does, though.
Yeah.
He likes to download information off his opponents when he first starts off really slow. Tank is so deceptive, man. He's elusive. Those are two words that I would like to say to describe him, because he's going to reel you in and then land a big shot on you, and you might be out cold on the canvas like Leo Santa Cruz was. Not saying that's going to happen in this fight, but there's a big possibility if Ryan gets too comfortable and then gets a little bit sloppy on defense. And we've seen this kind of happen with Ryan Garcia in the past, where he hasn't been laser focused. And that's kind of what happened in that Luke Campbell fight. He slipped up, got dropped. And you don't want to slip up against a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis. So what I think is going to happen is Ryan is early on going to be winning these rounds. We've seen Tank lose rounds to guys early on and then end up getting the victory. It's going to be similar to that, I think. I think Ryan's going to get busy, show off his speed, use his jab, land some left hooks. I think he may even be able to stun Gervonta Tank Davis when throwing one of those nasty liver shots. But I've only seen Tank fight through adversity. That Isaac Cruz fight fought with pretty much one hand. So I'm actually going to go with a different type of bet. I like the bet with Gervonta Tank Davis winning from rounds 7 through 12. But at the same time, what if Ryan slips up earlier? Okay. Can you sustain Gervonta Tank Davis's power for a whole 12 rounds? I haven't seen anybody really, really do that. And as for Isaac Cruz, well, I mean, Tank was fighting with one hand, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm actually going to go with, I don't think, okay, Gervonta by knockout and it is a minus 145. So that's what Vegas is thinking. And that's what majority of bettors are thinking as well. Tank is going to fight and get the knockout victory against Garcia. Some of Tank fans are saying, yo, he's going to get knocked out cold like Leo Santa Cruz. I actually think that it's going to be a slow, steady beating. I think Ryan Garcia is a little bit more tough than we're giving him credit for. So FanDuel, what they have is by exact victory that you can bet on. A little bit more value here. Gervonta Tank Davis by exact victory, TKO at plus 125. I think it's going to be a stoppage where maybe Joe Goosen just throws in the towel. Could be one of those situations, but I think Tank gets the victory by TKO just to be a little bit safe, because I don't know if it's going to happen early on or later in the rounds. I would kind of sway and give the edge to later in the round 7 through 12, but I like the exact victory plus 125. I also like round 7 through 12, which I think is a plus 200 on FanDuel as well. So I like those two bets. However, I talked a lot about Tank. He hasn't ever faced a guy like Ryan Garcia before. And I think Ryan has a chance because of that left hook that he has. And Tank also gets sloppy. He hasn't faced the power of a guy like Ryan Garcia as well. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to hedge bet. I'm going to sprinkle on the money line for Ryan Garcia at plus 215 because I think there's a chance that he could win. And that's the way I'm betting.
I'm going to put you on the mandatory maze in a second. Okay, series of questions here. Just rapid fire. If this fight goes all 12 rounds, which I don't think it will, but if it does, is that better for Tank or is that better for Ryan?
I think it's better for Ryan because I think Ryan is going to be up on the cards. And because the thing is, Tank is so listen, Tank has speed, he has power, he has skill, he has all the attributes more than Ryan, but he's not going to be as busy as Ryan in the earlier rounds where I think Ryan is going to get those points on the scorecards.
Where you say Tank is going to be up on the cards, are you accounting for that? Or
Ryan's
Ryan's going to be up on the cards? When you say Ryan's going to be up on the cards, are you accounting for Ryan actually outboxing him, or do you think the judges are actually going to kind of like what I saw in the Hector Garcia fight, where they were very much favoring Tank, and I was like, no, this is a way closer fight, and then he ended up getting the TKO, and it didn't matter. So, do you think that Ryan could be outboxing him, and the judges may not see it that way?
You know what I think? I think early on Ryan's going to be outboxing him because Tank doesn't start off really fast. But I think around, if it does go the full distance, I think around 7 and 8, Tank's going to turn it up, and it's going to be an extremely close fight. You know what? I should have looked up if it would go to the distance in a draw.
Well, the draw is there's great value on that. Ryan Garcia on points, by the way, plus 840. Is that worth a sprinkle? Yes or no?
Ooh, yeah. I think it's safer on the money line because I just don't know if he can go the full distance with Tank, and Tank is so skilled that I do think that even if Ryan is up early on in the cards, that Tank is gonna catch up and end up winning a few rounds later. Because the dude is skilled, man. You can't take away that from Tank. Like he is. I think he's more skilled than Ryan.
Are we overplaying? This is my last question before I throw the series of sprinkles at you, which is what we're calling. Are we overplaying the Luke Campbell knockdown on Ryan Garcia?
Yes, we are, because he's not the same fighter. I'm so tired of talking about that Luke Campbell knockdown. The only reason why I mentioned it is because in the past, Ryan has been known to not be laser focused for the full entire fight. And I think he slipped up there. He's a different fighter now. And he's also has a new trainer in Joe Goosen. So I don't think it's fair to be like, yo, he got dropped, this many years ago. And that's why we say that he's got a sus chin. I think I've also heard a rumor that Tank has been dropped in sparring before as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, like,
which I don't know because I haven't seen it, but there's rumors about everybody getting dropped in sparring, knocked out in sparring. There was a video leaked that Rolly Romero got knocked out in sparring not that long ago, and he's all of a sudden fighting for a world title.
Brian always sends me the one of Edgar Berlanga getting dropped. He sends it for me for no reason. He'll be like, hey, look at this video.
That's not true. Don't get me I'm in New York, okay?
I know,
don't get me in trouble.
I'm playing.
They don't know you're playing. Okay, sprinkle time. I asked you Ryan Garcia on points plus 840. I don't know if he lasts that long, but that's probably something that you can consider, right?
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis to win and round 9 to start plus 340 as of this recording. Is that worth a sprinkle?
Say that again. Sorry, I was looking at the odds.
Gervonta Davis to win and round 9 to start. So we make it to round 9, but Tank has to win plus 340.
I would bet on that. I think those are some good odds.
A knockdown in round 9 plus 1,000. Is that worth a sprinkle?
I mean, $2. Yeah, I bet $2 on it. Would you? Here's one that I like. Gervonta Tank Davis to be knocked down at plus 290. Never faced power like Ryan before. Let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
For just a sprinkle, like $1 or $2 plus 290. Would you think? I think I might sprinkle on that.
Yeah, and what I would say is, I almost feel like Ryan Garcia would have to do it in this specific way, and I can see it. I just don't know if I'd bet on it because I don't know if it happens. But I can like see it in my head where Tank, sort of, because he doesn't have the height and length advantage. Maybe Ryan is smart about using his distance, and he has to sort of creep in and take more chances. And he'll take chances. He did it against Isaac Cruz. He's done it against everybody. And when he comes in, Ryan Garcia is going to be looking for that left hook, which it's coming. Doesn't mean you can get out of the way quick enough because it's that fast. This is Ryan Garcia's money punch. Yeah. And I can see a scenario where Gervonta Davis sort of leans in, tries to close that distance, and then bang, gets hit with a left hook. I'm not sure he drops from that, though. That's sort of where I'm like, because Gervonta Davis has a chin. He's awesome all-around fighter. I think his power really overshadows how balanced he is.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is also just being able to take a punch, which he proved against Isaac Cruz, among others.
But in that Isaac Cruz fight, there was a moment where like you were like, did he get hurt by Isaac Cruz? Like we've had moments where we're watching. Yeah, he got stunned a little bit. I don't think Ryan has like that boom, devastating power that Tank does, but he's going to beat you down round by round, especially if he goes to the body, and he is a great body puncher.
He
and
also
those liver shots are going to add up, and as a southpaw, sometimes you do, keep that liver spot exposed, and I think that's where Ryan's going to make some money, but at the same time, like, he might get hit with the counter. So
yeah, he also, like Jason, like we talked about with Jason Maloney, in an episode that's coming out next week that I just spoiled.
Spoiler! No, I'm just joking. Yeah.
What Ryan Garcia also has is the ability to knock you down with a shot you don't see coming, which those are the ones that hurt you more. It's not power like Deontay Wilder or Gervonta Davis. It's power that you don't see. This power that's power because you don't see it coming.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, more sprinkles. Just a couple more. Both fighters to be knocked down plus 700, yes or no?
Yes. Give me yes, plus 700, betting it right now. Because,
is that a sprinkle, or do you actually think that's going to happen?
I think that's a sprinkle, and I think it could happen. I do think Ryan's going to get knocked down. Let me just say that.
Ryan.
I do think he's going to get knocked down.
That minus 160, I'm taking that for Ryan to get knocked down. Sorry, Ryan.
For me, it's just because we know how good Tank is, and we always talk about his power, and that's my only thing. Can Ryan sustain that power? I think the weight drain is going to be an issue too. That takes a toll on your body. And it also makes me think, how much energy and power is Ryan going to have in that fight? So there's a reason it was put in the contract, that clause. So I think Ryan is going to get dropped. I think there's a small possibility that Tank gets dropped. So I rather play the plus 290 on that one.
I have two more sprinkles that I'm interested in real quick. One, Ryan Garcia to be knocked down in rounds 1 or 2 plus 1100. He was knocked down by Luke Campbell in round 2 of that.
Stop talking about Luke Campbell, man. That was years ago. Okay. I don't think so.
The tank crew, the tank fans are gonna say you're a Ryan fangirl.
I know they did that. They did that the other day when I was saying that Teofimo Lopez was gonna beat Josh Taylor. Like I don't have a crush on Teofimo Lopez. Okay, there was someone like Shantelle has a crush on Teo. No, like he's a baby. It was on FightHype, which, by the way, you will be watching this on FightHype most likely, as well as our own channel. Which also brings me to, if you like the video, if you like the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Hit the like and subscribe. I don't give a shit.
I care, but also drop your comments as well. Let us know how you're going to be betting this fight. Are you rolling with Tank? Are you rolling with Ryan? And what are some prop bets that you like as well? We want to know how you're going to be betting for this fight.
Last one. Ryan Garcia to win and be knocked down in round 1 plus 6,500.
Okay, I just want to, okay, for the ones that you asked me, Ryan to be knocked down in rounds 1 and 2, the reason I don't think it's going to happen. The reason I don't think it's going to happen in round 1 or 2, because I actually think Tank is going to have a little bit of respect for him in the ring. I don't think he's gonna go out there and be like, yo, I'm just gonna knock Ryan out. Like, Tank is so smart and so skilled that he's gonna be extra prepared for this fight and fight like how he fights normal fights. And that's gonna be him, downloading information and being a little bit cautious in the early rounds before he gets busy in the mid to later rounds. So that's why I don't think I'm gonna sprinkle on those. Are you gonna sprinkle on those? Why are you asking me? I want to know if you are gonna sprinkle on those bets.
Because I'm putting you on the hot seat. Okay. Both fighters to be knocked down is interesting at plus 700, just because of the number. I don't think that happens. Like, I don't think Tank. I think he gets caught. I don't think he gets dropped. Right, two different things. And I respect the hell out of both these fighters. Like, I think it's entirely possible that happens, but I don't know if I'm gonna sprinkle. If I do, it's gonna be very little. The other one, at Ryan Garcia to win and be knocked down in round 1. While I don't necessarily think either is gonna happen, you're giving me plus 6,500. That means even if I put 50 cents on that, I'm winning like $37.50 if I win that fight. So whatever.
Exactly. But here at TheMandatory, we want to know how you're going to bet. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe, or don't, like Bryan said. Follow us at TheMandatory.
No, TKO. But I'm I'm doing a thing. So it's fine.
He's doing a bit.
Don't take us that seriously. Honestly, we're trying to have a good show. We're also trying to have a fun, enjoyable show. Come kick it with us. Leave respectable comments. We're going to be live Saturday after the fight. We're doing a post-fight show for this fight, and only this fight, because that undercard is not that great. And thank you for watching.
it.